Assalamu alaikum. Hello learners, you are welcome to my biology class. In my last class you have learned pollination. After pollination, basically male and female gametes are developed. Today we will learn microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. Microsporogenesis the development of male gamete is known as microsporogenesis. The development of male gamete is known as microsporogenesis. Now we will learn the steps of microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis basically occurs in this structure of flower. What is the name of this structure? It is anther of flower. In anther, pollen grain is produced. At first, pollen mother cell produce 4 pollen grains by the process of meiosis. Pollen mother cell produces 4 pollen grain by the process of meiosis. After maturity, this pollen grain start to germinate. At first, the cell of this pollen grain basically divide to produce 2 nuclei by the process of mitosis. 2 nuclei, 2 cell. In the one cell divides to 2 cell by the process of mitosis. This larger one is known as tube cell and the smaller one is known as generative cell. Generative cell. Then this tube cell basically form pollen tube. This is generative cell and this is pollen tube. In next stage, this generative cell again divides. To form 2 male gamete. Male gamete. Look, in microsporogenesis, basically in the pollen cell, the nucleus of pollen cell divides to form 2 nuclei by the process of mitosis. One nuclei gather cytoplasm and form tube cell, and another nuclei forms generative cell. Tube cell basically forms the pollen tube and generative cell basically form male gamete. Next, generative cell divide to produce 2 male gamete. That's all about microsporogenesis. Now, and microsporogenesis basically occur in the anther basically microsporogenesis, that means formation of male gamete basically occurred in the pollen grain. Now megasporogenesis. Megasporogenesis, the development of female gamete or egg. The development of female gamete is called megasporogenesis. Development of male gamete is microsporogenesis, and development of female gamete is known as megasporogenesis. Where megasporogenesis takes place, megasporogenesis basically occurs in the ovule of ovary. Now I will discuss about the steps of megasporogenesis. Firstly, the inside the nucellus of ovule, that means nutritive tissue or the tissue nucellus, center of the ovule. Nucellus basically remain in the center of ovule. Being nourished in the nucellus near the micropyle of ovule. Mind it, micropyle of ovule. One cell gets larger. One cell gets larger this cell being nourished in the nucellus of ovule, it gets larger. Then this cell divides. This is the cell. This cell gets larger. Then this cell gets larger and it basically divides to form 4 cells. By the process of meiosis. This cell divides to form 4 cells by the process of meiosis. Except the smaller one, all 3 cells get disintegrated. Except the smaller one, this smaller cell again get larger. This smaller one again gets larger. And it basically form embryo sac. This cell form embryo sac. This smaller one gets larger and form embryo sac, and this nucleus of this cell divides to form 2 nuclei divides to nucleus singular, nuclei plural, divides to form two nuclei, divides to form two nuclei, and these two nuclei take position to the two poles of this cell, take position of this two poles of this cell, of this embryo sac. It is embryo sac. Now it is mitosis. Again, these two nuclei, divides again to form four nuclei by the process of mitosis. These four nuclei divides again and form 8 nuclei. Look, it is also mitosis. From this 8 nuclei, 2 nuclei come to the middle and form secondary nuclei. And this nuclei gathers basically cytoplasm and forms cell. And these 3 cells basically form egg apparatus. The middle large cell is known as egg, and the cells besides the egg known as synergid cell. It is secondary nuclei. And this 3 cell opposite to egg apparatus is known as antipodal cell. Dear students, by this way egg or male gamete is formed. Again, near the micropyle of ovule, one cell get larger or nourished in the nucellus, the tissue, nutritive tissue of ovule, and this larger cell divides to form four cell by the process of meiosis. Except a smaller one, all 3 cells get disintegrated, and this smaller cell again get larger, and the nucleus of this cell divides by the process of mitosis to form 2 nuclei. These 2 nuclei takes position to the 2 pole of this embryo sac, and 2 nuclei form 4 again by the process of mitosis, 4 to 8. From this 8 nuclei, 2 nuclei from 2 opposite pole come to the middle and form secondary nuclei, and this nuclei gather cytoplasm around them and form cell. The cell near the micropyle form egg apparatus, and the opposite side cell antipodal cell, and the middle cell of egg apparatus is known as egg. That's all about megasporogenesis. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.